Welcome to Complinet Global Newscasts. News featured is taken from Complinet Complete, our news, analysis and tracking service, and your comprehensive view of the regulatory landscape. In our top story this week, after months of investigation, the Securities and Exchange Commission has accused Goldman Sachs of defrauding investors. The SEC says Goldman failed to disclose what it described as vital information about a possible conflict of interests over the marketing of subprime US mortgage investments. The claims are the first to be made by the SEC's new Structured Products Unit. Goldman said in a statement that the accusations are unfounded and that they did provide disclosure to investors and lost money on the transaction. It added that the largest investor selected the portfolio, albeit after discussions with the hedge fund manager. Goldman described these discussions as entirely typical of these types of transactions. The Financial Services Authority also announced that it would investigate the transaction. We spoke to Complinet's Peter Elstob about the FSA's unusual decision to go public about its enforcement investigation.
This is a very unusual decision. In fact, I spoke to regulatory lawyers. We couldn't find a convincing precedent, really. The FSA says it's relying on its own rules, which allow it to depart from its default mode of saying absolutely nothing about ongoing investigations. But that really is unprecedented for it to come out at the outset, announce it's launching an investigation and name the firm concerned.
In the US this week, a draft bill regulating over-the-counter derivatives was passed by the Senate Agriculture Committee, which imposes regulatory and compliance requirements on participants that are deemed risky. The Wall Street Transparency and Accountability Act is expected to be added to the financial regulatory reform legislation. Firms covered by the bill would be subject to new provisions, including an audit trail requirement and the appointment of a chief compliance officer. It would prohibit banks from engaging in high-risk swaps transactions. The Federal Reserve and Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation would also be prohibited from providing any federal funds to bail out Wall Street firms that engage in risky derivative deals. In the UK and Europe this week, the selling of penny shares to gullible retail investors has represented a soft enforcement target for the FSA. Staff at Hive Securities Limited, including senior directors, failed to observe basic standards of suitability for their clients, did not treat them fairly, and as a result have been fined £200,000 by the regulator. And finally, in the Middle East this week, the Dubai Mercantile Exchange has issued a consultation paper proposing changes to its anti-money laundering regime. DME members and applicants for membership must be able to demonstrate compliance with the applicable AML regulations on an ongoing basis if a separate AML clause is added. Additionally, members must satisfy the DME that they have established a compliance programme that meets their criteria. The proposal would strengthen the term applicable AML requirements, which would be defined as all legislation, regulations and rules applicable to exchange members, seat lessees, guaranteed customers or any other exchange participants relating to money laundering and the prevention of money laundering. To read about these or any other stories from Complinet in more depth, please log into complinet.com or contact us if you would like a free trial. Join us next week for another newscast from the Complinet News team.